Hello pretties, welcome to Venezuela. So we're gonna do a chit chat rating with me talking about YouTube videos that I don't make that are beauty content related and that a lot of other creators do create, and just gonna talk about like why I don't create them. Some of them I have done them in the past, but I do it just so sparingly. So talk about why they're so sparingly, and then ones that I actually want to do that for one reason or another haven't been able to do. And we're just gonna get started because I gotta get ready to go to work. I was actually planning to film this video yesterday, but I was running late for work. So this video is gonna be up a day late, but I made sure I have plenty of time to actually do this today. So I woke up extra early. Okay, I didn't wake up extra early, but I made sure to have a short workout so I have more time to actually spend doing this. Where did it go? I don't get my eyebrows I get my eyebrows threaded, but I don't do it that often. So I am one of those that I always like check them and pluck them out almost every single day. Just so it's easier for me to maintain the shape for longer periods of time. Just because I just don't go get my eyebrows threaded that often. And otherwise because I have really hairy eyebrows, they can get really out of hand really quickly. So just to have it, not a lot of times there's only like one or two hairs, but those one or two hairs, you know, they add up over the weeks. So that's what I do. Anyway, I was creating the list of like videos, and I had a couple that were like top of my head for sure. This is a video that I see a lot of other people do, whether it's big or small creators. And others, I had to go through my subscription box and just essentially see what other people do. And I'm like, oh yeah, I don't do that. And this is exactly why. Or whatever the situation may be. So there was a little bit of that involved. So a little bit of research happened. I'm like really close to being done with this, and I'm really struggling. You may not be able to see my face all the time while filming this video. The reason for it is because I am legally blind. My glasses are thick with a capital CK, and I can't see without my face. I honestly can't even see the screen. I'm using my other camera, the one I would normally do for a video like this, and that's because I want to be able to pause because this has a thing right here to pause it, versus the other one I can't quite do that. That way there's less editing for me to do. That's because I just don't feel like I'm gonna have time for editing today. Also, it's hot here in Texas today. Honestly, this heat wave here in Texas has been awful. I don't think, at least during the day, we haven't dropped below 100 in like a month. It is so hot. Some of it is moisture just because I did just moisturize my face, but I think a little bit of sweat. And it's too early to be sweating. It's not even 9 a.m. Okay, there you go. Well, let that dry. Look at this. I'm like not really sure how I'm gonna scrape enough to be able to do my makeup today, but I just feel like I have one more use before I call it, and that's gonna be that. All right, let's get started because I've just been rambling. I have my little list. So I have reviews of new launches or like speed reviews videos. You guys know I don't really do reviews. I've done a couple here and there, and I have done a couple of launches reviews, like maybe like 3, and it's mostly because those are either something that really attracted me or they're brands that I trust. For example, Larry Los Angeles is a brand where I'm gonna buy almost anything she drops, but she also only has like 3 releases per year tops, if that. So it's not that hard to keep up with it. I know I did the Wild Nothings from ColourPop. I'm trying to think of something else where I can't think of them. Anyway, I want to make sure that I make smart purchases. So it's not something that I normally do, which is just buy something as soon as it comes out. I mean, there's been a couple, like the Raw Beauty Christie 2 palettes that she released, but I didn't do reviews on those. I really just kind of bought them and had them right away. I think I did a first impression on both of them. Potentially. No, I didn't. I think I did a swatch party. There you go. that sounds about right. But I didn't actually like do anything like that. So I just, like I said, I want to see other people's reviews. I also don't feel comfortable or confident in doing reviews because I'm not the most articulate when it comes to makeup. I don't know how to express myself. Like if somebody were to ask me, like a friend, well, I need this and that, I'm very good about like explaining things like that. But for whatever reason, when I'm just talking about a random product, I'm not very good. I don't know if it's the camera or whatever. I get like all of a sudden camera shy, but I'm not very good at doing reviews. I just like blank out. So it's not something that I would seek out per se. So yeah, I don't do those. I do technically do speed reviews when I do my haul updates, but it's more, I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm reviewing the product as much as I'm saying, yeah, this didn't work for me, this did work for me, and this is why or what didn't. So I'm like, I don't know if that counts, you know? Okay, I'm gonna do literally the most simplest eye look you can possibly think of because we got a lot to do, and I'm definitely going slower than I normally would to be able to talk to you guys and look at the paper and everything. Also, I'm so blind, so I have to go like this. New collection try-ons or first impressions. Except I have done a couple, and this is one where I actually wouldn't mind doing more first impressions. It's the same thing as the other one. Is like I'm just not very articulate, and I would never ever buy an entire collection unless it was like a super tiny collection, and it had to be a brand that I knew I was gonna like most of the things in it. If not, it just doesn't make sense. I think when people do entire like ColourPop collection drops, or when they do Elf like whole collection drops, or even like Charlotte Tilbury or something like that, I just feel like it's so much product. It's just so much product. I just don't see that being realistic for a normal person to be able to consume that amount of product. It's just too much. I can't do it. Which a lot of the videos that I have here are in that same category. Is like it's just too much consumerism. I'm like, that's not realistic. I literally store all of my makeup in one desk in 2 drawers. So it's like, no, that's not gonna happen. All right, moving on. Let's see. Shop my stash videos. This is one where I've done variations of a shop my stash, but I've never done like an actual shop my stash where like people go through their entire collection and like pick out like 2 or 3 items from each category to essentially use for that month. And the reason for it is, one, I do a lot of project panning, so a lot of times I'm focused on 1 or 2 products and I want to make good progress and actually finish them. So it's harder to do a shop my stash when I'm really actively trying to finish items, versus I know a lot of YouTubers just do shop my stash, but they won't necessarily do project pans, or if they do, like Kelly does project pans, Kelly Gooch, by the way. She does project pans and she does shop my stash, but she only has 1 project pan that she works on, and she doesn't necessarily is the most consistent with it, which is totally fine. You know, that if that's the way she likes to do it, but that's not how I do it, because I'm actually actively trying to finish product and get my categories down, and like I said, that's just not her, which is fine. But also, the other reason is I don't have enough product per category to do that. Which is, again, I think has to do with the fact that I have a realistic makeup collection. And I know a lot of people that have like smaller influencers that have really huge makeup collections. That's just not me. Like I said, I actually want to be able to consume all of the makeup that I bring in. I kind of given up on eyeshadow, but almost every other category I'm actually rotating through by finishing it and then buying something new, except potentially blush and highlighter. But I actually do go through blushes. I usually, hey, all 3 dogs are in the room, so that's having something to do with it. I do go to about 2 to 3 blushes per year. and I've been doing pretty good with highlighters in recent years when I've at least finished one, and I'm really not bringing highlighters in because it's just not my favorite category. So there's that. All right, moving along because we're really not going that fast. Full face of makeup of one brand. I think I tried doing this once with ColourPop because I have a lot of ColourPop base makeup. Most of my base makeup is ColourPop. So I think that was realistic for me to do. Honestly though, at this point, I am getting rid of a lot of products from ColourPop that are cheek-wise. So by the end of the year, I wouldn't realistically be able to do any makeup brand one full face of, because I don't own enough, and I wouldn't want to buy a bunch of products just to make one YouTube video. If I was to make this like an actual hobby, which like a hobby that makes me money, because I really just do this for fun. I just like talking to you guys about makeup, and I just like talking about makeup, you know? That's all it is. A lot of my friends are not into makeup the way I am, so it falls flat. So I wanted to essentially reach out to you guys, a community of people that actually enjoy makeup. So for me, it's not realistic to buy a bunch of makeup just to do a video. I have a job, you know, like a regular office job that I do, and that's just, you know, what we do. This is not, you know, this is a hobby that I like to do, and if I don't want to do it, I don't do it. And I've said this before, I'm like, I didn't feel like filming, so I didn't. It's very normal for me to say things like that, and like, this is a hobby, I'm not gonna force myself to do something I don't want to do when it's a hobby and I do it for fun. You know, it's all it is, it's a hobby. So it doesn't make sense for me to invest like that in videos. Also, because then I end up with a bunch of makeup that I may not necessarily wanted, and then, you know, it just goes down the drain, you know, it's just not getting used, and then I end up just, you know, end up trying to give it away to other people. So it just doesn't make sense. Oh, this is one where I love watching this kinds of videos, but I do not make them, and that is like monthly like eyeshadow palette rankings and reviews. I just love it. Love it. But I would never do that because I don't have that many palettes to be able to do a ranking. I know that Alejandra Lisette, she does one where it's not necessarily new palettes that she's trying, it's more so just palettes that she used for the month. I think that's more realistic, but I also know for a fact that Alejandra has hundreds of eyeshadow palettes, so for her to do that, it makes sense. I have less than 30, so it's not realistic for me to do that, you know, and I'm not buying eyeshadow palettes every month. I know I love watching oh my goodness, Angelica's and like Samantha March's like monthly palette rankings. I think those are so much fun, but they also are review channels. They try so many palettes on a regular basis, and also they're bigger YouTubers, so they get a lot of PR, so they try a lot of makeup. But I know, like I said, other people that have smaller channels, but they just have ridiculous amounts of makeup where it's like, yeah, I love watching it, but I would never do it. That's like not realistic. Even though I gave up on my eyeshadow collection, I actually like being able to like go through them, but no. Same thing with monthly favorites and fails, or like must-have videos that people do, like summer 2022 must-have or things like that. I just like completely cannot do that because I'm not buying enough makeup to do that, and a lot of it has to do with me being in a no buy. The 1 year that I went off my low buy, sorry, and I went wild, it was very realistic for me to be able to do that. But then I ended up with a bunch of product, and I was like, how am I gonna be able to finish all this makeup? Because like I say, I buy makeup to actually consume it, not just hold it. I was like, I don't know. What am I gonna do with all of this? So yeah, it's just not realistic. Subscription boxes. This is one where I, for whatever reason, really enjoy watching people unbox their BoxyCharms. BoxyCharm, and like Ipsy and whatnot. I like really enjoy watching those videos, but I will never sign up for BoxyCharm. And the reason for it is almost every single video I see, there's at least two products that they did not want. And it's not like Stitch Fix. Like Stitch Fix is a clothing subscription box, and I do have that. But if I don't like something, I can return it. You can't do the same with BoxyCharm. And I think that's a huge drawback of the subscription box, like specifically the makeup subscription boxes, because then you end up with a bunch of product that you don't necessarily want. My friend Natasha had been getting what's it called, BoxyCharm for like 3 years, and she's like, yeah, I have like 30 bronzers. I don't even like bronzer. And it's like, but I don't know what to do with it. So every time somebody comes to a house, they're like, yeah, go through, pick out whatever it is that you want. She's, you know, and it is affordable. Like BoxyCharm is affordable. You're not spending a bunch of money and you're getting a lot back in return. So it's not like it's expensive. It's just so wasteful. I do find it fun to see what people get and like the different variations, and I always think it's fun to look at it. Also, something that BoxyCharm does is it gives out a lot of eyeshadow palettes. I don't want a lot of eyeshadow palettes that I don't want, or potentially repeats, because I have seen a couple of, I have seen a couple of times where they have palettes on BoxyCharm that I already own. I'm like, it's not fun. Like fun. I don't want repeats, especially of high-end products like that. And next, the good thing about BoxyCharm is that they're big items. Okay, I know that I look crazy. This is not my shade match. I'm aware. I should have gone a shade down, but I've already started using it and I didn't want to waste this. I figured I can make it work. I know I look crazy. I can fix it. I can fix it. Anyway, so subscription boxes. If I were to sign up for a subscription box, I would probably sign up for Ipsy. My sister actually has Ipsy, and the reason for it is because they're mini products. It's a lot easier for me to go through a mini of something than it would be a full-size product. But again, I've seen my sister, and she a bunch of times gets a bunch of product that, again, she doesn't want. And even though they're like mini deluxe sizes, they're not nearly as big as full size, but she still does not quite love all she gets all the time. So there's that as well. All right, but again, I really like watching subscription boxes. One that I also really enjoy watching, and you will probably never see videos of me unless I get like all of a sudden creative enough to do it, is tutorials. I love watching tutorials. I know a lot of people don't anymore, but I find inspiration for my makeup palettes when I go online and I search in the YouTube search bar. I put in people, like a specific eyeshadow palette that I want to see tutorials in, and it's almost always palettes that I either own or that I'm considering buying. That way I can see what people are doing with it. Is that something that I can realistically see myself doing in the future? And that's normally what I do. But I just don't find myself being creative enough to do that. I also don't know that I have the best setup to be able to do a lot of tutorials. I think a lot of times what I do is like doing a look with it. Because like, for example, my BYOP, and when I do my 1 week 1 palette series, I do at least one eye look with that palette in the camera, but I'm not necessarily doing a tutorial, just because I learned to do makeup by watching YouTube videos. If you really wanted to do that, you know, you could actually watch somebody that knows what they're doing. But anyway, I just don't think I'm good enough at makeup to be able to do that. But I love watching tutorials. Specifically, there's a lot of what's it called, professional makeup artists. For example, Wayne Goss, Scott Barnes, Patrick Ta. I know there's just one more that I like subscribe to and actively watch all of their tutorials. Even if it's not necessarily something that I would do, I still want to learn, because there's so many tricks that I've learned just from watching them do makeup, and they always change things up. They have so many techniques. I think it's really cool. Also, just watching somebody that just has more experience with makeup per se is really enticing. And then also, I like to get inspiration from other people. For example, like Judy C and Angelica Bright. I love watching their YouTube videos. And is it Angelica? No, I think it's Angie. I think she specifically only does like eyeshadow tutorials, and it's like close up, just one eye, and I just like to get a lot of inspo from watching her, so it, like color combinations and whatnot. And then Judy doesn't necessarily do tutorials like that. She does collection reviews, so a lot of it is new palettes, but she always does her 3 looks 1 palette series when she does that. So watching her do those 3 looks, a lot of times I'm like, well, I don't have that palette and I don't want to buy that palette, but I do like that eye look. I think if I were to use this or that in my own collection, I can probably recreate it. And so I really enjoy watching eyeshadow tutorials specifically, but just overall tutorials. Also, it's ironic that I'm putting my foundation on. There's something so satisfying about seeing somebody put foundation on. Is it just me that thinks that? I don't know. I also like watching tutorials on like Instagram, like the 1-minute tutorials. I just think I really like tutorials, but like I say, probably will never do it. Something that I would like to do, I just have to figure out my setup, is Will I Buy It videos. I really like Will I Buy It videos. I watch them almost all the time. That's how I know if there's anything new that's dropping, see if there's anything that interests me. I'm probably not gonna buy most of it, but I like watching Will I Buy It videos. I just want to see if there's anything interesting or cool coming out that I may want to purchase. Yeah. I need to figure out my setup because I feel like I did a Will I Buy It once, and it was like the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, but I had to borrow my boyfriend's what's it called, setup for his gaming to be able to do it properly, and I don't want to do that. It's mostly because he games all the time, so trying to find a time when he's not playing games to try to film a video is actually harder than you may think. So there's that. Brand intros. This is one where I wish I could do introduction guides to like brands. I did one for Lara Los Angeles, but that's mostly because almost every single thing that she's dropped, I can literally think of 2 things she's dropped that I did not purchase. Everything else I own. I don't shop like that from any other brand. So I was like, how am I supposed to do that? You know, it's just not realistic. And I don't consume like that. I don't plan to consume that just to be able to do that. So there's that. Ooh, one that I love watching, it goes in the same boat, is huge makeup declutters. Oh my god, I don't know what it is about watching people with like gigantic eyeshadow palette collections or huge you know, like blushes and bronzers. Like they just have so much makeup, and just watching them like cutthroat, half gone. I'm like, oh shit. You know, it's so exciting to watch those declutter videos, but will I ever do one? No. Same thing, I just don't have enough per category to be able to do that. So let's start out with that. And 2, I just don't think that's realistic to do that. I mean, I have like 10 highlighters, you know. Could I declutter some? Yeah. But do I realistically think I can go through them? Yeah. Will I be repurchasing other highlighters? No. So it doesn't make sense for me to do that. I'll eventually go through them. Blush, I honestly just love blush. So I don't want to get rid of my blushes. Eyeshadow palette is the only thing where I could potentially like do a nasty declutter in. But I enjoy my eyeshadows for the most part, and I try to be very selective when I do bring palettes in. And if I don't want something, I do get rid of it. I actually just got rid of a palette. My sister came to town, so I gave her a couple of palettes that I've been waiting to declutter. Two of them I had already decided I wanted to declutter. So it was the Lime Crime Venus palette that I had. I got rid of my Sigma palette. My sister took that one, and then she also took my Morphe 24G palette, which I've been saying for like 2 years that I wanted to declutter that palette, and I just never could bring myself to do it. I finally did it. My sister took it. It's gone. It's not in my house anymore. None of them are. But I don't declutter that often. And even like the Lime Crime, I technically decluttered it at the beginning of this year. I decluttered the Sigma one a couple of months ago. Technically it was just in my closet. It was just not with my makeup collection. And then the 24G, I actually did just like pulled it out of my drawer and gave it to her like right there. I'm like, yeah, If you like it, take it. If she didn't like it, I would have probably kept it. Because I thought the quality was really good, and I actually liked the color story. I just never reached for it because it was so big. It was gigantic. So it was just, yeah. Anyway, I find them so exciting. I just don't have enough product to be able to do something like that. Okay. Alright, I like lost my where I was. Drugstore or high-end dedicated makeup videos. You know, like, what's it called? Kelly does like Affordable Fridays. I remember when Tati used to do her Drugstore Tuesdays. Was it Tuesdays? I can't remember. But she had like a day and she would go to like CVS and Walgreens and she would do like, she would buy all this makeup with all this coupons and only pay like 20 bucks. And I was like, it was like extreme couponing makeup edition. It was really fun. I loved watching it. But I was like, no. And although I have a mixture of both high-end and drugstore makeup, I just don't see how I could do that. It just doesn't seem realistic unless I buy a bunch of makeup to make that happen. Which again, goes back to the whole consumerism thing. I'm like, I'm actually trying to consume all of my makeup. So it's like, I don't know about that. Full face of new or hyped makeup is the same thought process. Well, full face of hated makeup. I've never understood why people will buy a bunch of makeup that everyone says they hate just so they can try it in a video and try to make it work, or say, you know what, you're right, this makeup sucks. I never understood. I'm like, if you're a huge YouTuber and you got all of this as PR, sure, it makes sense for you to do something like that. But if you're a small YouTuber, I'm like, why would you buy purposely bad makeup? It just doesn't make sense to me. So I haven't. Although I will say, full face of like hidden makeups are probably my best full face ofs to watch, because it's almost always a disaster, and it's really fun to watch whoever is creating the video try their best to like make it work, and it just doesn't. And then sometimes certain things do work, but a lot of times it's a complete flop. So I don't know, there's something about it. It's fine. Ooh, Sephora sale recommendations. I really like to watch those videos, because if there's something that I've been thinking about buying, that is when I want to buy it. So I always end up watching a bunch of reviews just before the Sephora makeup sale, just to see what people are saying. Is it really worth my money? Because if it is, then that really is the time to buy it. At least it's on sale. I get 15% since I'm the VIP or whatever. But I don't know. I just, the amount of product you need to try to be able to do a video like that is ridiculous. It just has to be. You know, there's no other way around it. So again, it goes all back to consumerism. I'm like, I just don't see that happening for me. On the flip side though, I do like to do the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale. And I think I would like to do it more often. I really enjoyed the last one I did. It was, what's it called? I did like a will I buy it kind of thing. I think I would like to do that again, probably for the rest. And essentially just what I did last time is we're going to go through the Ulta website before, like a day or two before it starts, and then just go through all the days, see what these sales are, and if there's anything that I would like, then that's my time to buy it. Although last time I said that I wanted all these things, and I actually only ended up buying one of them. So there's that as well. Because sometimes I change my mind when it comes to the day of. But I do usually like to buy certain things on the Ulta 21 Days of Duty. 21 Days of Beauty. They usually have overall just better products, a better sale, than the Sephora one. Rather than 15%, it's like 50%, or buy one get one free, or buy two get one free, or something like that. So there's usually better sales. Dupe videos. Dupe videos are ones that I really enjoy watching. Just because if there is a high-end product that I've been wanting to try, then I can try something instead. For example, the e.l.f. primer, I bought it from watching a dupe video, because everyone was going crazy for that Tatcha, and I've been like, yeah, no, that's not I'm not gonna spend that much money on a primer. It makes sense, especially because I'm not the biggest fan of primer. Although I do use primer, and there's like, I just don't think so. So I like watching dupe videos, but again, the amount of product you have to try in order to find a good dupe is so much. The consumerism part of it, it does make sense. So that's where having like bigger YouTubers do those kinds of videos, I think is so helpful. But me personally, as a regular consumer, no, it's just not realistic. Hold on guys, I'm gonna do my mascara. I'll be right back. Okay. It gives me the creeps to watch other people do their mascara on camera, so I never do it. But we're coming near to the end, which is good because I need to leave my house in the next like 5 minutes, but I don't have a lot left to do. But anyway, we're almost done. This is another one where I actually wish I could do more of, and that is wish list videos. I think wish list videos are really fun. I kind of want to just curious about what other people are thinking of buying, especially if they're like old makeup that I'm still wish I could buy. I know that Lauren May Beauty, there you go. Lauren May loves doing that. I think she actually just released a video not too long ago with like wish list with like old products that she had wish she could buy. I just think it's funny. I think I've done one video like that before, but I haven't like I think I've only done it once. But I think they're fun. I also, I don't know, if I'm able to get over like the whole like new makeup hype, I almost never end up, but like after a couple of weeks and nobody else talk about it and like the hype dies down and I've thought about it some more and then I'll look at the product again, a lot of times I'm like, you know what, I'm not as into it as I thought I would be, and I don't end up actually buying it. Now there's been times where that's not been the case. Maybe something gets even more hyped up with time and I end up buying it. For example, the ColourPop Sweet Talk palette. And then I end up buying it. When I first saw it, I'm like, I don't think that's for me. But everybody kept talking about how good it was, and I was like, maybe I need to try it. And so I did buy it, and I was like, mistakes were made that day. Because it's not my favorite palette. Like, totally could have been without it. I just got wrapped up in the hype. Like, after the fact hype. Okay. Ooh, this is ones where I really like to watch this. I think they're very helpful. Again, it's just not realistic for a small YouTuber, regular consumer, you know, real makeup collection to do, which is the best and worst of any kind of product. I think it's really helpful when, like, for example, Kelly did not that long ago a best and worst of like lip oils or something like that. And I thought it was really helpful, especially because I really like lip oils. I think they're really cool. And that way it was like, you know what to buy and what not to buy, and you're not making wrong makeup decisions. But realistically, for somebody like me, I will never do that. It doesn't make sense. I think I put too much highlighter in my nose because I was distracted trying to find the word. So we'll try to fix that later. Okay, and the last one is trying new weird makeup gadgets, or like, what's it called, like those Amazon like beauty product hauls. I know Lara Lee loves to do those, which I think they're fun. I definitely enjoy watching them. They're so weird. Where I'm like, realistically, would I ever use this? No. I think like the ones that went viral were those like, they look like cotton, like the ones that you use to clean up your ears. Oh, I can't remember the name. And then like you like break it, and then like a bunch of color dispenses on the other side, and then you like stains your lips or something like that. I thought those were cool, and I thought they were really fun to look at, but would I buy them? No. That's ridiculous. Why would I do that? I really go really heavy with my blush, and I don't care. I just love blush so much. And also you end up with a bunch of gadgets in your house, and then you end up having to throw them away because really, let's be honest, you're not going to use them. So I don't know. It's weird. I don't want to, I think that's just wasteful. That's really what it is. And I would never do videos like that. So anyway, that's about everything. Is there any videos that you watch that you're like, yeah, I would never do that? Or you're like, you know what, that actually sounds like so much fun, I really would like to do that. Or maybe more so, like I said, I wish I had the ability to do videos like that more often, but not necessarily do. I'm just curious to know what you guys think. All right, we've gone through my list. I don't have anything else, and I'm at the end of makeup. So I guess might as well just finish together because we're honestly like right at the end. I'm almost out of my little thing here. Oh, I am filming my inventory video this weekend. My mid-year check-in inventory. I know I'm late. I was supposed to film it last weekend, but my sister came to town last minute. Well, it wasn't last minute. I knew she was coming because she told me she was gonna go camping and she was gonna stay for 1 night and then be gone for 2 nights while she camped and then come back the 4th day. But they ended up having such a bad time the first night that they came back early, so I couldn't film all the videos that I had planned to film. So it is what it is. I think I went a little too heavy with the blush, but it'll settle down. It's okay. I am trying a new style of filming yet again for my inventory. So if it goes well, I do think actually I'll be able to film Will I Buy videos more often because it's the same style that you would use to do a Will I Buy video. Okay, that's it. We're done. Just a little gloss. I'm so close to being done with it. I'm really sad about it. And that's it. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.